This can be a friend, but it cannot be a bestie. It can help you with learning and some information, but it cannot be your guide or mentor. One more thing is, it can give you some information, assist you, but it cannot be a full-time assistant. And I am speaking about, you already know, if you have guessed it, very good, Chat GPT. Chat GPT, we have been speaking about Chat GPT these days. You know the advantages, you know the disadvantages. I've also done 3 videos, but today I'm going to share 4 different incidents. And these incidents were narrated by advanced and intermediate learners. I also had enough conversation with different people, co-learners, colleagues, and I thought of putting everything in the form of experience, and this video is for you. Yes, I've also had experience talking to ChatGPT. It's fun. It's like you speak to a person, you get the feel of it. Why? Because it's natural. There were days when we used to refer to Google. Now Google gives you the data as it is, sometimes from books, sometimes from different resources. You may have to search, you may have to put in that extra effort, and at times we may not have the time to sit and read through everything. Patience is important. When it comes to ChatGPT, you just have to ask the question, and 100% people use ChatGPT today. It's not like 3 years back or 5 years back. Today everybody has got access to ChatGPT, and at the same time it sounds confident, friendly, and it can also understand you. But there are certain things you have to be very careful about, because some learners even today come and tell me, ma'am, this happened, that happened, what should I do? Of course, ChatGPT is free. You can make use of it, but just be careful. Okay? So, are you ready to listen to these experiences? Just sit back, relax, and listen to these stories. Welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Renee Rose Matthew. I'm a CELTA certified tutor, but I was also a learner. I love learning even today, because if I don't learn, I will not be able to guide my teachers, educators, and also help you all. Now, coming to today's experience, ChatGPT is a beautiful tool. You have different apps and tools to help you out, because you may not have the right environment or speaking partner. But remember, there is something known as trap. What trap is that? Tone trap. What is the meaning of this? There was a learner who came and told me one day he was not feeling okay, especially in the morning hours. Something was wrong with his health. He completed his project and everything. He was supposed to send emails in the morning. He wanted to tell his boss, I'm feeling tired. I would like to rest for some time. I would like to go home and come back, because it was just a 3-minute drive from the office, to his house. And he just asked ChatGPT, can you help me out with this? How to tell I'm tired to my boss? This is my problem. And ChatGPT said, you can say like this, I've been experiencing a physiological depletion of vitality. So I was like, it's not about whether the boss will understand. Maybe he or she will understand, but you just have to convey the need of taking a break for 30 minutes. I'm not saying ChatGPT will do this every time, but at times it happens. And this is from a real life experience. And he said, I wanted to do an assignment maybe 2 months back. I tried taking the assistance of ChatGPT. It worked. But this was a simple request. And this is the answer I got. And I wanted semi-formal kind of tone. I said, you're right. You just have to say, sir, would you kindly give me the permission to go back home for 30 minutes, take rest and get back, because I'm not feeling well. And if your boss asks, have you completed the project? Have you sent the emails to every company regarding the project? You can just say, yes, sir, I completed this in the morning. And is it okay if I take a 30-minute break? I mean, you can elaborate if it is required, but otherwise you can just put in the request naturally, organically. And ChatGPT may not be organic with tone, understanding the context, your requirement. I'm not speaking about emotional requirement or emotional empathy, but it's not the fault of ChatGPT. ChatGPT processes the data that's given to it and then put it in the most crisp, concrete and natural way. But sometimes it doesn't work. The next one. What is the next incident? Next one is, there was a learner from the beginner level. He's not a complete beginner, but he's okay with tenses. He's okay with sentence formation. He came and told me, ma'am, I love ChatGPT because it is like a speaking partner. I said, great, good. But then he told me, ma'am, I have a problem. I asked ChatGPT to pretend that we are drinking coffee in a restaurant. Okay, he named one restaurant also. Okay, good. And ChatGPT was very encouraging, sounded very confident. And he said, would you just have a conversation with me, and we are meeting for the first time. So they had a good conversation. The starter was very good, impressive. Hey, hello, hi, like that. And then ChatGPT said, I was honored to encounter you at the cafe today. It was such a pleasure. Okay, till there it's okay. Honor, maybe it's too formal. But then it said, what type of coffee would you like to consume? So it's okay. But there is a kind of tone organic requirement. Above organic requirement comes social and cultural context. So here you're meeting a friend for the first time, and definitely as a human being, what would you like to go for first? The comfort zone. You will check if the person is comfortable, whether you are comfortable, what kind of coffee you would like to have, or whether the person really wants to have some other drink, a mocktail or something like that. So such kind of questions were not asked, and this statement sounded a bit weird. And he asked me, ma'am, does it sound weird to you? I said, not weird exactly, but a bit strange, unusual, because you can't blame ChatGPT. It will not know the social and cultural context, and you are supposed to analyze. And then he asked me, then what else? How else would I convey? What type of coffee would you like to have? Feel free to order what you like. It's good if you can just discuss with me. Otherwise, feel free to order whatever you like. Well, I would like to order this. If you want, you can just give the names of some of the things that you've already tried. Otherwise, you can say, well, I haven't come to this place before. I'm not familiar with this place, but still, let's try out something different, or this one. You can suggest if you want. There should be a kind of understanding. I wouldn't say rapport in the beginning, but basic understanding. You know, getting what I'm trying to say. This can also happen when you meet somebody the first time. Yeah, there are people who come and speak about dating during language counseling sessions. Okay, the next incident. Some people say, I learned English only because of ChatGPT. Good, it's nice, but remember, it's not just because of ChatGPT. ChatGPT sounds confident. It is also fluent, and it will never say, well, I don't know. It will always give you the answer. Have you noticed that? It will always encourage, motivate you. It will always be positive, with a lot of hope, faith, and trust in you. I'm not trying to discourage the use of ChatGPT. Please understand that. But at times, it may not even know that it is unable to detect the nuances, the grammatical structures. If you ask the difference between two prepositions, for example, something that you read from a book, it may not be able to give you the complete answer, because as a human being, you will have follow-up questions, right? During the training sessions also, people speak about their problems. I will try to give a solution. Then they will have some counter questions. They may have some other questions from another context, which is okay. You're a human being. You are connecting to your life organically. You're trying to recollect what happened in your life earlier, which is okay. It gives me a concrete understanding of what you really want and the problems faced by you. Imagine you coming and telling me, ma'am, I'm not able to frame sentences. Okay, exactly why? How? Where? When? All these kind of things can give us a kind of understanding. It's not just because of ChatGPT that people develop a language skill. It's also because of other activities which I've already shared through these platforms. Some of you are already enrolled in the training sessions, but there are others who cannot afford that, or maybe you don't have the time for that. Many people tell me, ma'am, I don't find the time. Please put more activities, upload more activities on YouTube. So this is one thing you have to remember. It's not just because of ChatGPT. There could be other factors that's already shared on my channel. Then accent pronunciation. Okay, pronunciation is a sound given before articulation, before enunciation, before even you get to know about the accent. Pronunciation, the sound that you give. So there was a learner who came and told me, ma'am, ChatGPT is not able to understand me because my English is bad. I said, you speak good English. Your English is okay. I'm able to understand you. No, the problem is I don't speak like a native speaker. So, you're not expected to speak like a native speaker. English language teaching doesn't say that you have to speak like a native speaker. Don't get it wrong. And then she said, okay, I understand. But when I asked a question, it was not able to understand me. It gave some other answer. I said, it is artificial intelligence that's trying to solve your problem or at least answer your question. In that case, it's not the problem with your accent. Are you able to understand everything that ChatGPT speaks or tells? Even if it's in the written form, forget about speaking. Some of you speak to ChatGPT also, great. You're not able to understand because it's too fast at times. Even if you ask ChatGPT to slow down, it may not, okay? Not every time. At times, yes. Another problem is you may not know how to frame the sentence in order to put a correct question, in order to draft a proper, appropriate question so that ChatGPT can give you the solution. You should know English, right? You can also translate it from your language and then put it in English. But remember, again, you have to process, understand, analyze, and then do the activity or help yourself because you're trying to build a skill. ChatGPT can detect your errors. It can say this sentence is wrong. This is what you have to do. It can give you activities. But as a human being, you have the capacity. You have the capability to reason out, to ask more questions, to find out more. And every time ChatGPT may not have the answers to those subtopics. It may give you the answers, but it may not understand the complete problem. That's what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to accent, I said, you don't have mother tongue interference, but still the problem is ChatGPT is not able to understand you because it is trying to gather what you're trying to say. It is trying to understand, and then if the question is not framed properly, it can be a problem. But it's not the problem with your accent. Maybe it is not able to completely comprehend the sound. See, these are all tools, these are processed data. It processes information, collects information, gathers, and then it gives you the output. It happens within split seconds, right? It is not going to think and refer and say, I'll get back to you tomorrow. So it may not be able to completely comprehend what you're saying, the exact sound I'm referring to. See, when you speak to me in English, even if you don't have mother tongue interference, let's take the case of not having mother tongue interference. It's fine. I'm able to understand because I have an idea of what you're trying to ask me. The problem is not with your pronunciation. It is with the sounds that they're not able to pick. Okay, they're not able to grasp. And that happens sometimes with upper intermediate learners and even advanced learners. So that was my point. The second subtopic, the subtopic to this problem, accent pronunciation, is you may not be able to understand what ChatGPT is trying to tell you. Not because you're not a native speaker. It's because it's too fast and sometimes some words can sound like something else. It's not a trained teacher. It's not a co-learner. It is not able to emotionally understand what you are able to understand or what you really need. It happens with many learners. Okay? I wouldn't call it emotional intelligence or the unique abilities of human beings to reason out and process. Nothing connected to that but basic requirements. Then one more thing could be accent. If you really want to work on your accent, it's good to listen to ChatGPT imitate. You can imitate because when you listen to podcast also, you try to imitate to an extent but retain your style. You may have your beautiful style. Okay? But another point is, if you don't understand, if you're not able to follow the pace of ChatGPT, there won't be any purpose. And then you may end up comparing yourself to ChatGPT, thinking that ChatGPT is not able to understand me, which means I'm a failure. I'm not good in English. I've been working on English for many years, but ChatGPT is not able to understand me despite writing everything. No, that's not the case. Sometimes you may lose your confidence also if you're going to do this. If you're going to compare, even if you don't compare, your subconscious mind will say sometimes that you're not able to articulate things properly, or you're not able to understand completely, you're not able to pick the accent. because there are certain strategies, techniques, and learning methodologies followed. Because the methods and strategies developed in books by great linguists and language teachers are definitely based on experiments. Chat GPT can give access to such experiments, but you are expecting the crisp answer, and that is why you've come to Chat GPT, because it's free, it's accessible, and you want immediate answer. So possibilities and probabilities are given, and everybody may not benefit, and you haven't started using Chat GPT now or maybe this year. You would have already got access to Chat GPT 2 years back, 3 years back, I don't know. You can make use of it when you don't have a speaking partner, when you really want to get the answer to something. But never underestimate your power. Your power is different. Your reasoning skills, your language skills, the way you think, the way you process. I'm not speaking about overthinking. That is also a capability, but still, the way you design certain things, the anticipation, the worry, anxiety, fear, everything that you experience makes you a human being. And that is also contributing to the topics that you want to speak on in the future. Imagine speaking about your anxiety after 5 years when you began learning the English language. It's beautiful. God knows it may inspire another person like you. So everybody is a beginner in the beginning, okay? You begin your journey in anything or with anyone as a beginner, and then you start practicing, but the methods are different. That's my point. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you really want to know more about the prompts, there are some prompts that you can use to help you out with prepositions, for example. Would you please differentiate between these two, this preposition and that preposition? Generally, learners make mistakes with prepositions, especially intermediate learners and advanced learners. I can give you prompts for prepositions. This is only the beginning, okay? Maybe I can do another video on that. How to get your prepositions correct in the initial stages before you join a co-learner or before you get some confidence. Try to know more about the prepositions, and then how to go about it using Chat GPT, because that also should be given to you. Then you can equip yourself, you can prepare yourself. It's like preparing yourself. Then you go for some professional assessment or course, or watch a YouTube video, then come back. You should always have your study period, the study table where you sit and process your thoughts. So that's what I did when I was a beginner. Today also, when I process my thoughts, when I work on my modules, I always think about my learners, about what you really want, and about how I began learning this language. So I hope this helps you, darlings, and I hope you enjoyed these experiences. You may have different experiences. When you ask me about my experience with ChatGPT, well, I don't use ChatGPT as a speaking partner, but sometimes I ask for journal ideas. I'll be sharing that in my journal pages. There's going to be a video on journal art and everything I do, how I connect with English on a daily basis, and how I put in journal ideas for this day when I'm feeling like this. So those kind of prompts I can share with you. That's when I use Chat GPT or Google, Google AI, Gemini AI, because that's easier. So I hope you find this video beneficial, and I hope you learn something through this. Thanks a lot for watching and for reaching out. Happy learning.